Hello, everyone. Welcome. I haven't been here in a while. Deb Shepard, we're on Facebook Live. Want to give it a few minutes for people to join us because obviously I haven't done this in, I think, a few months for sure. We're going to talk about energy, how we use our energy, how we have people that take our energy, and then how to rebuild our own energy. And that helps us in our life. It helps us connect with our loved ones and our guides and get through life and all of our challenges. So, as people join us, we just definitely want to do some shout outs and bring everyone on. And hopefully today, what I bring to all of you will be some good positive vibes to take you throughout the rest of your week and, of course, throughout the day. Joining me on off screen right now is Dana. Uh, there she is. Dana is managing it all. So if you say anything, I won't see those comments. She gets to do it all. Dana is my partner in crime, my wife that I love very much, that helps put everything in order. I think I am her vampire. I certainly take the energy out of her sometimes, but we all learn how to adapt to how the energy feels, how we feel about things. So that's what we're going to answer today is some things that are, helping us get through. And I see Gina is on here. Gina, I've known her for a long time. Glad you're on here with us, Gina. And I know you have felt the people that drag us down, take us down. And how many times have we haven't been on that roller coaster ride where sometimes we're just feeling like, I have nothing else to give. I am just zapped of energy. I did a class this weekend on Souls Contracts with students that are in my mentoring program and loved this class. It was fabulous. And I channeled a lot of information, and it was just great being with these fabulous tribes. I was exhausted by the end of it, but not because there was vampires, but more than anything, just how we give energy. And sometimes we don't realize how much we give to other people and how we don't take care of ourselves. We don't give ourselves the opportunity for us to, plug back in and rejuvenate. We just go and go and go. And then we end up with individuals in our life that, they only know how to take. And so we want to talk about what's coming up, and I'm going to be doing a free class coming up on March 19th, or excuse me, March 18th. Make sure you sign up for it. It is a class on energy vampires be gone. It's around the spring equinox. And if you're not familiar with that, it happens twice a year where the way the earth is tilted around the sun and the moon and how it affects us. And I think it's one of those things that we don't pay attention to. But I know, especially for my wife Dana, these winters are hard because the sun goes down earlier, it gets dark, we don't have the vibe and the energy. But spring just gives us the ability to refocus, create that energy. It's also a time to plant our seeds for growth, for new things. So if you're in a place of what's going to happen for me this year, what do I want to do this year? And spring equinox is a fabulous time to bring in the joy. I mean, I think a lot of times we get these things about what we want to get done, what we want to finish, versus where is the joy? Where is the fun? Where is it about you taking care of yourself? Look at all the people that's showing up. I can see them on the side. Normally, I don't get to see them. So Dana set this up a little differently. So I'm excited. Doesn't mean I can read them all, but I'm certainly seeing them. I see Stacy on there, and I see. Go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, well, do it. Do some shout outs before you jump in a little deeper.
I love it. There's Kristen, there's Susan. I think Susan Engel. I remember Susan from the past. There's just so many great people on here. The shout outs too, just, are you feeling it's time to make changes for yourself? And who in your life constantly is taking your energy? And I think part of it, what we were talking about this weekend in the workshop, is setting those boundaries. And we have a tendency not to set boundaries. We just feel like, we've been told it's better to give. And the people that we're giving to, we feel their pain, we feel their suffering. And that was a big word this weekend, is about people suffering and how do we help people through that. But we don't look at our own suffering, and we don't look at what the burdens that it does to us. And these things can affect our ability to take care of ourselves, to be able to manifest, be able to heal. Sometimes we end up getting illnesses and things like that affect us, that have us set it up so that we are setting boundaries in our life. So are you doing these things for yourself? And if you're looking at what's next, I really want everyone to sign up for this class that's coming up. Who doesn't want something that's free, right? And it's me teaching about these energy vampires that we have in our life. And it might be that you're even doing it to yourself, that you're always giving and always, taking care of somebody else and not really putting yourself as a priority. I think we have a lot of guilt around that. We have a lot of guilt about making ourselves a priority. I heard this weekend a lot of time, I feel self-centered, I feel guilty, I feel like I shouldn't make it about me. But Dana, I can tell that you're seeing some of these posts. Do you want to read any of them or something there that could be helpful?
Sure. I just posted the link for the free masterclass as well. And so you can sign up for the free masterclass. And yes, Deb will be doing mini readings here shortly, and we'll tell you how that works here in just a minute. But, it's always, every time we do one of these, it hits our heart, I think, every time, because there is so much suffering out there and so many people who really need to create a better place for themselves and more joy and bring things into their life that fulfill them. And so, like Manda Marie, I don't even know who I am anymore.
Wow.
And that kind of, that hits us. Nanette, definitely need to make changes. Not sure how to make it happen. I think it's really bringing hope, right, Deb?
Right. I think we do get a little lost. I see Blanche is on here. Blanche joined us this weekend. Joyce, I've known you for years. I would really like for you to, take some of these classes and be part of the community, because I think what happens, and there's Jill. Hi, Jill. I think a lot of times we are alone, and I really think it's important to have a community. At first people go, oh, I don't know, I don't like to share, I don't like to be part of people I don't know. But community is really important, and community that has this language to build upon. And so what I like to draw together are people that are working on themselves and looking to say, I want to be more than what I am. And so that start is really looking at yourself. We forget that. I think over time we get so distracted into what other people want from us. And maybe if we take care of everybody, that will bring us joy and that makes us feel valuable until we get so depleted. And I know for me, I've gotten so sick that I had to have a reality call going, wait a minute, you can't keep doing it this way. And maybe that's what you're feeling is now it's time to do it a different way. And I think a big piece of that is putting those clear boundaries. We feel guilty that we say no to somebody or we say no to whatever it is that keeps draining us. But with the spring coming, I think about the daffodils and the tulips and all the flowers that are popping through the ground of Mother Earth and saying, I want to be born. I want to come out and I want to see the sun. And that's what this time is. This time is about breaking free of the things you've been doing, like come from out of the darkness or the shadows or those kind of things that are keeping you feeling like you don't have a purpose or a life. And what we talk about a lot in my program is our shadow work. And if you're not familiar with that, the shadow work is the things that we don't want anyone to see. We hide ourselves. We think about, I don't want anyone to know that these are the things that are not good about myself. But it really is our life purpose. Our purpose is to work on the things that we don't like. What we do is we share with everybody the things that we're good at. And you may be a really good, caregiver. You may be a good person that people can rely on. You take care of things. And that's a great thing, but that's where you get the burnout. And you end up hitting the wall and your soul and your body say, you know what, it's time to look at things differently. And that's where you start to begin to backpedal and reflect on, I don't want to have this type of life for the rest of my life. I really desire to shift things. And part of it is our belief system, or not part of it, all of it. And everything I talk about in, Facebook Live or in my Spirited Straight Talk podcast or anything is about how to shift our consciousness, how to find another perspective, how to become curious and finding another solution to resolve how you feel. And sometimes we just do the same thing. I always call it Groundhog Day. We keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. So think of yourself as just learning to come out of the the shadows, coming out of the darkness, coming out and saying, I want to really blossom and change the way I am in my life. And that could be trying one new thing or experiencing one new thing or reading one different book. And all of that begins to give us another viewpoint and perspective that we didn't have before. We're getting these patterns that become comfortable, but they're not fulfilling. And when they're not fulfilling, that's when we get depression. That's when we don't hear our guides, we don't hear our loved ones, we don't feel inspired. And that's what the momentum ends up happening. So, what you want to do is backpedal a little bit and review in your life what isn't working and who in my life is draining me. And so, with this coming up here in the next couple of weeks, start really journaling and writing down things and trying something new that will give you an opportunity to have a different perspective. So, we want to shift that energy. Um, for hundreds of years, the equinox, the moon, all the shifts of our planet has been celebrated over centuries to have new beginnings. And this is your chance to say, okay, this is my chance. This is my chance to have another way to look at my life. And why not? People think I'm too old. I'm in this pattern. What does that change look like? And I think the beginning is just changing one or two things. It might be how you eat or where you go and eat, or perhaps, if you don't exercise, which is me, how do I begin to exercise that's comfortable? Or maybe it's hanging out with people that are maybe a little more different than who you are. Sometimes we get in that same sort of vibration of people that come together and want to complain about things, and that draws you down. It begins to suck the life out of you. So find a way to make a change. And you can start with working with me here coming up this next couple of weeks. The next week, I forgot when it is. I forgot the date of this, but it's on the 18th. And take this class to see if there's some nuggets in there to be able to give yourself a chance to say, I can do things differently. And it doesn't have to look the way I've been doing it. And I'm not asking you to take some big risks. These are little tiny things to help you go and, oh, I never thought of it that way. Boy, we have a lot of people on here. Anyone you want to share, Dana?
Well, lots of comments. People, I think it's resonating. It sounds like a lot of people are in this place right now. So, and yes, Deb will be doing readings here in a moment, but the topic is about energy and
we're gonna do readings. The reason, part of this is if the purpose of a medium, the true purpose is to realize there's an afterlife. And so people are desperate to hear, their loved one is okay. They want to know, are they okay? Are they with other people? So, yes. With that said, if a medium is there to tell you that you can see signs, you can hear from them, but you have to make changes. And that desperate feeling of I need to know is basically a vibration of scarcity. It's a sense of fear, and it's a lower vibration that you will attract energy that is in that lower vibration, and it's more difficult for you to hear from your loved one. So I will tell you right now, I am happy to do readings, but my intention and goal always is to help you know that your loved ones are with you, for you to see the signs, for you to be able to connect with them. But that means making some changes and to look at what the fear is, where your energy is being drained, where the guilt, where the shame is, what is keeping you heavily weighted so that you can't make that connection, because your loved ones want to connect. Your guides want to connect. The universe doesn't have anything against you. The universe wants to provide healing, and they want to provide joy, and they want to provide abundance. It's up to us to decide if we embrace it and we receive. Most of us, are not comfortable in that arena, in that feeling. And we also go into this place. I'm getting this idea of even thinking about connecting with your loved ones or connecting with a medium sometimes brings shame. Like, what is my belief system? Is this real? All those kind of things that bubble up. So if you want to hear from your loved ones, what are you willing to do to shift? What are you willing to do to embrace a change so that your loved ones are going, hey, I've been here the whole time. I've just been waiting for you to be able to connect. And that's what this is about. All of my teaching is giving you the ability to connect on your own. So it's taking that responsibility and showing up for you so that you can hear from them and not having the need of somebody else resolving these things for you. Now, I am in gratitude of being a messenger. I'm in gratitude of being a mentor and a teacher. But I want you to think for a moment, what is it that's keeping you from hearing from them? What is it that's keeping you from having the ability to hear your guides and to receive from the universe? And, if you've had a really tough year, if you've had a year where you feel like you've just been bombarded with a lot, I know when we all went through COVID, that was just a heavy time. A lot of people are still kind of feeling the heaviness of that time and they haven't shifted it. So this is a chance too, the beginning of spring, to say, I'm going to shift my consciousness. I'm going to shift the way I think. I'm going to shift the way I show up in my life. And I'm going to find more happiness and joy. And I'm going to learn to receive and that you can then get that connection. Um, as a medium, being the messenger, I know brings a lot of healing. And I know that for me, I have to do a lot of, you know, cleaning up my shadow work. And again, if you're just joining us, that shadow work is the things that keep us with the guilt and shame that keeps weighing down on us, that keeps us from having that level of vibration that gives us a higher connection. And if that says, like, I have never heard these words, this doesn't make any sense to me, think about people in your life that you meet and you're like, wow, I just feel inspired by them. I feel energetic. They're just so positive all the time. And then you have other individuals in your life that you're like, I just don't even want to call them. I don't want to have lunch with them because they bring you down. So with that said, where is your vibration? I want you to tune in and do what my friend Becca always says. What's your report card? Where are you in your energy? Where are you in your thoughts? Where are you and how are you showing up in your life? Are you an example of how a life can be fulfilling? And then what no longer serves us? Sometimes we hold on to things for a really long time. And those belief systems, those things that continue to weigh us down, that keeps us from really having this fabulous opportunity in life to really seek the connection. And no matter what faith you are, or if you don't have a faith, if you're not sure where your faith is, part of that is reviewing it and looking at it like, what can be next for me? Where can I go? And if you're new to working with me, thank you so much. This might be some new terminology. It may be things you've heard before, but sit down and really think about how you're showing up in your life. And what is it that you need to revisit and open up an opportunity for your life to shift, for your consciousness to shift? Because it's all in the brain, and the brain protects itself from a belief system. And our heart really desires love unconditionally. It desires so many more things, but we begin to protect it. So I really hope that you sign up for this free workshop and take the chance to sort of rethink where you are in life. And if you've done some of this work before, or you've kind of read books, or you've mentored with somebody, I think along the way, we always need, I always call it the B12 shot. We need one more opportunity to go, okay, I need to get more back on the saddle again. I need to revisit where I am in my life and let things open up, let things shift, let things change. Um, I hope there's some questions about the class, but if it's free, there's no reason not to do it, right?
Exactly. But yes, lots of people commenting on the masterclass. So that's awesome. Hopefully they'll all get signed up.
Please.
Are you ready to jump into a couple readings real quick?
Absolutely. Let's bring them on.
Okay. Do you want to share how you
Sure.
want to do this, or do you want me to?
I can.
No.
A little bit of Starbucks, okay? Everyone needs some Starbucks to realign them. So, um, I'm an empath, which means I primarily open up my energy. I shift. I told someone this weekend, it's like having different icons. So I kind of tap into different energy to be able to download and get information of what is needed by my client. So I hear, see, feel, smell, taste, all these different senses, and I use them to bring them together to be able to give you a message. Sometimes, well, in these brief, 1 to 2 minute readings, you're not going to get a ton of information, but you may get enough of a good hello. The intention always is to know that they're still with you. But my biggest thing is I really want you to hear from them. I want you to have the opportunity to know that they're okay and that you can connect with them. But what we do on this kind of a venue is you give me a name and how they're connected. And then I try to tap in. They may come through with somebody else, including a fur baby. And then they'll give me just some information to give you some validation. If you can come back and put it in there, that's really awesome. Not necessary, but really awesome. If it's a child or someone in a generation younger than you, so nephew, niece, child, grandchild, give me their age. It just helps me in this sort of a venue. Otherwise, I don't need it in your hour session and things like that. But we just do it this way. I can get through more individuals. So that's how we do this right now. And I know everyone's desperate. So I always encourage you, sign up for an hour session. If you really feel like, oh, I have to hear from them, do this for yourself. Get a session. Hear from all of them for a whole hour.
Deb, just wondering, do you want me to pick who randomly choose?
I can't see it really well.
Okay. And we're just going to just do them right here based on the name. Just a reminder, if it was
someone's messing in here because my lights just went on and off. So some of your loved ones are messing with my technology. Thank you very much.
All right. I'll just pick the last one that popped up, which was Christy Sutton Bashor, Travis, who was her son, was 26.
Okay. First of all, Christy, I'm really sorry about the loss of your son. Any child is tragic. First of all, Travis feels almost bigger than life. I feel like he comes in and maybe he's the one messing with my technology here with my lighting, but just sort of like this bigger than life energy. And I'm getting him very talkative, a person that would want to communicate a lot and definitely talk to you. He's talking about before the birthday or around the birthday. So this could mean, since I'm doing this really quickly, that this is a birthday or anniversary just coming up or just passed, or he died right after a birthday. He also feels like, in my opinion, this passing was unexpected for the family, or this was, not a surprise to certain people. I'm definitely struggling with breathing. I'm struggling with heaviness in my chest, but I feel like there was a lot more with his death. He's also telling me he's got like a larger dog. This feels like a lab or just a bigger dog that's with him. And this dog could have been someone in your childhood or something more recent with it. And he's saying that you're carrying something with you. So this could be, his thumbprint or some of his ashes, but I feel like you got something with him. And he's got a grandfather with him. So this, Christy, could be your dad or his father that is also with him, and someone is smoking. He's talking about, having the cigarette and smoking. So that could have been his grandfather there. He's telling me peace out. And so I feel like this is I think it's more of a message that he's at peace. And I think that's what we want to know as parents, is our child at peace. Absolutely. But boy, my head hurts. I just felt like there was a lot going on with him. There's a confidence with Travis. I just feel like I keep getting lots of energy from him. So he's a guy that, could really show up. So obviously his energy being gone now is really missed, because I feel like he filled up a lot of energy for the other people. And I also feel like he was there for others. I keep seeing him a person that others could go to or talk to, or there was a lot of confidence that was, people trusted him. And I'm real sorry for that loss. If there's anything you can share that would be helpful for the people that are also watching.
Yeah, she was definitely commenting, yes, it was hitting home. So yeah, share validations too.
Yeah.
That always helps Deb know she's 100% on track.
Big spirit with him, just, bigger than life, and not a wallflower by any means. Well, kind of like me, I'm not a wallflower for sure, right? Facebook in a while, so it's getting back on the saddle again and getting used to riding the bicycle again.
I know, but we missed it. We
did, yeah.
Erica Fletcher wants to connect with her friend Kim, who she put her age in if you need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kim feels, and I get this sometimes when we say that, this is a friend, she feels almost like a sister from another mother. I feel like it's more than just a friendship. She feels like someone that you could really bond with and someone that you'd been a friend for. If it wasn't a long period of time, which is what it feels like, that the connection was just really strong for the period of time. I'm getting not a good feeling, like I'm not feeling well before I died. So I feel like there's an illness going on, not something that happened as quickly. And I keep tasting metal in my mouth, so I don't know what that would mean. Something around something toxic. So if she was on chemo, or if she was going through some sort of medicines, or it doesn't feel like drug abuse, but something definitely that affected her system. And she's using the words the flower child. So maybe she connects with you regarding flowers, or that's something that's really connected to the both of you, or for her for sure. And I don't feel like she's been gone a long time. So this could be in the last year, maybe 2 years, but it doesn't feel that long ago. And she is telling me that she connects with you through music. And this might mean that she turns your radio on, or there's certain songs or things that you're drawn to about her. There's a real sweetness with her soul, but also I get that don't cross her, because she's going to remember if you have hurt her. So she just kind of recall, like, oh yeah, don't get on my bad side. But there's also just a very kind, loving heart with her. I'm also seeing a beautiful smile. So I get that when you would see her, there would be the smile that lit up the room, or you just felt like, oh, there's Kim. Thank you for being there. And this sort of feeling of embracing that, you're safe when you're around her. And I feel like there's an older woman with her. So this could be your mother, her mother, aunt, or mother-in-law, but she's talking about the older woman with her that is a little bit rough around the edges. So this might be someone that had strong opinions around this. So it could be a boss, someone that was connected to either her or you as well. Let us know if there's makes any meaning around that.
Yes. And let's do one more. We have Gina, who's on YouTube. Her close friend, Tony, is who she'd like to connect with.
Tony, a female? Toni?
Doesn't say Tony. So
no, usually that's a man. Okay. Okay. He feels too young as well. I feel like Tony, smart guy, sort of there for you. Lover, kind of a lover kind of guy, meaning, could be just that good friend. But I also feel like Tony didn't always make good decisions around his life. And this could mean how his death could have been maybe prevented, or he could have done things to taking better care of himself, or gone to the doctor, or however this passing went, that he feels like he has some responsibility in it. Tony feels smart, but I also feel like maybe he kept himself from really having the success that he really wanted in life. And I think that's a lot of us in life. Life is too short, and we think we have more time. And I feel like Tony thought he had more time. I have no idea why he's bringing this up, but he's showing me a mouse. So there's something about a mouse in the house, or a mouse, but it could also mean something around Disneyland or Mickey Mouse, that kind of thing. I'm just a messenger, so hopefully that will have some meaning to you, or eventually will have some meaning. And Tony's also talking about the lock of hair, or having something about the hair. So let's say Tony was bald before he died, he's talking about having the hair, or someone took a lock of hair, or you want to pull your hair out because of them. So something around that. So these are two messages that I don't really know the meaning of them, especially because I'm not spending more time or getting another validation from you. So sometimes we get messages like, we don't know what this means. The message is for you, and they're for you to kind of figure out, but they may also have meaning like, oh, this makes so much more sense to me. And he's also talking about someone getting the tattoo in honor of him, and he is humbled. And I feel like his death was a ripple effect. So this means that a lot of different people were affected by his passing. And sometimes that, people really affect us when they're here, and others, they have a very close connection. But I feel like Tony had a more wider connection of his passing, how he affected a big community as well. So hopefully that will give your some peace and some information. And again, I think people think when you get a message from your loved one, it has to be very clear, or they're giving you what you need to do in your life, or they're here to help you get directions and what's next for you. Our loved ones are not here for that. Our loved ones are still learning their lessons. They're still growing, but they're really here to say, I'm okay. And I'm with other people, and I do see what you're doing, and I see what's happening. And that's why a lot of the symbols that I get, when I'm seeing a mouse, I'm like, I have no idea if this has a meaning for you, especially with the amount of time we have, but they're a message for you to search and look at a little deeper what they mean. And I feel like Tony might have been a person of, he feels like a straight arrow, but also sometimes there's a little bit more to him. And I think that's about his messages. It's like, dig a little deeper, go a little further. What does this really mean? And so hopefully, Gina, there's some significance for you.
So I put in the chat too about your event coming up. So if you want to, share a little bit about that, and yeah.
Yeah. So the event that's coming up is in a large audience, or I don't know how many tickets we're selling, but this is a great opportunity. If you feel like, I'm not sure I want to make an appointment with Deb, I'm not sure I want to, spend the money at this time. I want to really see if this is the real deal, or you want to have an experience to see how the messages are done. I love doing gallery readings because usually people come together that have something similar. So the losses are very similar, and you'll hear messages that maybe you weren't going to get right away directly, but it really, it's a shout out from your loved ones to so many people in the gallery. And it gives you an opportunity to really heal and realize that you're not alone. I think sometimes in our grief, we really don't do well in grief, and people do not know how to support us in grief. So the galleries are an opportunity to really begin to heal your losses and have a way of shifting or changing the way you are grieving, and then also realize that you can connect with your loved ones. And that is usually my intention, is knowing that if I can do this, how do you begin to open up your vibration, your consciousness, and be able to make your own connection? Because that's going to give you the bigger sense of peace. And for most of us mediums, that's what our goal is to help you begin to heal with that loss or losses that we have. Sometimes I know I meet people and they have so many significant losses. Where do you begin? Where do you start? And teaching is one of my passions. So signing up for any of these classes, especially the free ones, you're not, other than your time, it's certainly worth it. So show up for yourself, show up and do what you need to do for your healing. And I'm sort of getting this. Sometimes we think, I don't want other people to know I'm doing this, or what will my family think, or what will my spouse think? This is something that you can do for yourself for your healing. And that's what this is about. It's you being the center to make those changes so that you can begin to heal and have a shift in your life to, not be drained all the time, and to raise that consciousness and vibration to be empowered and not feel like that victim that we do sometimes along our journey. And then, so the class, the gallery reading is coming up. This free class is on March 18th. Sign up for that. The equinox, the spring equinox is showing up. It's time to bloom. It's time to change. It's time to grow, and be able to know that you can walk away in 6 months knowing, hey, I've got an opportunity to change my life, and this is the things I did. I took the steps necessary for me. That's what you're here for. If you're showing up on this Facebook Live, this is saying, sign up, click on, take this opportunity to take care of yourself. And I'm grateful and honored that you do. Absolutely. Get rid of the energy vampires, even the ones that you're doing to yourself, especially. Yes. So thank you very much for joining us. I've missed Facebook Live. I hope to see you guys again. And I want to thank Dana for setting this all up so it can work. Give everyone a lot of love, and take care of yourself, and make yourself really important, and do things for yourself that can help you grow and heal. Thank you so much. Namaste.